In this lesson, we're going to be talking about HTTP. HTTP is the Hypertext Transport Protocol. What it really is the protocol that was designed for transmitting messages back and forth between a web client or a browser and a web server. Let's take a quick look here at HTTP and just some raw HTTP messages. Now, HTTP is a text-based protocol, and you can see I'm just typing what looks more or less like English here, and it's just in plain text. I'm not typing a lot of numbers that would be more indicative of a binary protocol. So what I'm typing here is actually the protocol commands. So what I've got on the first line is I've got my request, and you can see what I'm requesting, and then I've got HTTP and the version. HTTP 1.1 is currently the version that you're going to see a lot. You could use 1.0, but the request would look a little bit different because there were some different things that were introduced with 1.1. One of the things was this idea of virtual hosts, and that's why I need the host line here, because even though I'm connected to a particular IP address, I could have several virtual systems or virtual domains sitting on that one IP address. The protocol specifies that once I'm done with my request, I send a blank line, and that indicates that I am done with the request. So what do I get back? Well, let's scroll up here. In addition to all of the JavaScript and the HTTP, which is really the data that is being carried by this HTTP or the Hypertext Transport Protocol, what I've got here is a set of HTTP headers that come in response. HTTP works in the way of a request and a response code. So I issued my request, which was a GET, and the response code I'm getting here is a 200 OK. So the 200 OK indicates, not surprisingly, that the request succeeded. Now I've got a number of other header fields here, and you can see cache control, and the content type specifies what I'm actually getting back, and right here it gives me a MIME type of text HTML, so I know that I'm getting HTML in response as opposed to, say, a Word document or a PDF file. So I've got some cookies, and I can see that the server is the Google web server, and I've got a transfer encoding of chunked. You can see here I've got the request right here, which is the protocol itself. And again, I get response codes from the web server indicating what actually happened. So what I could do would be to issue another request here. And I'm going to say HTTP 1.1, host again is www.google.com. And now what I get is a 404 not found. And so this is telling me that I've actually got an error because the 400 series of codes are actually errors. So I've got 404 not found here. This is the HTTP that actually says, you can see right down here, that's an error. The requested URL was not found on this server. That's all we know. I could actually do the same thing here. So we've been looking at just the raw messages, and this is what it would look like in a browser. So we've got the image, a couple of images here, and then we've got a 404, that's an error, and the requested URL was not found on this server. Now, I've had a packet capture going here. I'm going to stop it now, and I can do HTTP just to filter everything down, and I'm going to scroll down until I find the request. Here's a request for the foo-blah, and then you can see here the message that we get back. The length is 1213. That's the 404 not found. Now, there should be a difference here between that request and the request that comes from the browser, and there's a reason for that. The browser issues the GET request, and then the server replies with the 404 not found. Now, what the browser is going to do is it's going to actually look through that HTML and see that there were a couple of messages. the browser is going to issue 2 more GET requests here. You can see the 2 GET requests at packet 953 and packet 956. And those 2 GET requests are for the images. You can see the robot, which was the background, and then the small logo. The browser actually issues additional HTTP requests, and not only can we get HTML through HTTP, but we can also get these images, and that's exactly what happens here. I've got the robot, and then I've got the 200 OK, and you can see here I've got HTTP, and so we've got the 200 OK there, and then here is actually the graphics file. This is the PNG file, or the graphics file, pulled apart into its individual headers. So there ought to be another 200 OK to match the GIF file, and you can see here GIF 89A. What we get is a request to actually go get all of the elements of the page from the browser, because a page is composed of potentially a large number of components. There's the text from the HTML, there's a number of images, there may be some objects with regards to cascading style sheets, or maybe JavaScript. So there could be a number of components to a web page, and a browser is going to go and issue requests for all of those. If we get success, then we're going to get a 200 OK. If not, we're going to get some sort of error message. So we might get a 300 series message, for example, that could redirect us somewhere else. Or we could get a 400 series message saying the file's not found, which is what we saw, 404 file not found. You might also see a 500 series message indicating that the server had a problem and we got a server error out of it. HTTP is an application layer protocol, and of course it's application layer because that's where all of the functionality actually lives, and there's a lot of high-level functionality in terms of getting information from the user and then presenting data back to the user and making sure that all of the data is actually there that needs to be presented to the user. HTTP is an application layer protocol, and it's designed to communicate between a web browser and a web server, although there are a number of other uses for HTTP that we have found over the years. Primarily, it's a web client or browser and web server communication tool.